What I'm going to share with you is going to shake you awake. You have been dealing with toxic people all wrong. I know you've been doing the boundaries. I know that you've been avoiding. While there are some levels of solutions in creating boundaries, I want to be clear. I don't want you just here to survive. I want you to be able to take your power back. So today I will share a mindset shift that will help you to do so that you are no longer a victim to toxic people and their energy, and that you also don't become toxic yourself. Hi, I'm Fatima. If you're new here, welcome. And if you are returning, welcome back. I'm going to be sharing a new mindset shift that I am deciding is my new level of standard. It just is what it is. Let's get into the video. Let's talk about your secret sauce. Your secret sauce is your divine flow. It is your energy. It is your aura. It is your potent presence. It is the thing that when you leave, people still feel your energy positively after you've left. It is a thing that you can continue to tap into your own well. Think of it like this. It's like a video game character where you can go in and, let's say, on the first level, you see something that you can tap. And when you eat this thing or your character taps this thing, you get this glow like aura or ebb and flow on you. And then at that point, you're supercharged. You're able to handle situations and your enemies differently. It's not that the enemies are going away or the toxicity goes away, but it's that you move differently. Your presence moves differently. Your energy moves differently. I want you to think of it like this. I drew a stick figure for you. Don't make fun of my drawing. You see this? This is how it is. Like, let's say this is you and this is them, right? What ends up happening is you are starting to exchange energy with them, and you're pulling from just your own goodwill and good intentions. And the reality is, no one cares, although those intentions are good and they're good for you. When you're dealing with toxic people, they don't see those things. You have to pull from a different well, from an internal source, from a place where you can maintain your energy and you are not phased and affected by them. Instead, I want you to think of it like this. This is you over here, and you pull from your well. You pull from your well of abundance. You pull from your well of, hopefully you can see this. You pull from your well of abundance. You pull from your well of peace. You pull from your well, your energy source that is bigger than you and beyond you. I'm talking about your God flow energy. As you do that, that's going to support you backwards. As you do that, that will support you in being able to be filled with the type of mindset, the type of presence, and to be protected. And what happens is, like that video game, you get this level of aura, you get this new level of identity, of an invisible shield. So when toxic people start to say toxic things to you, it bounces off of you. It doesn't really hit you, it hits your shield. And that's how I really want you to think about when you're dealing with toxic people, is understanding your secret sauce and staying connected to your God source, to your power source. The thing is, too, I want you to consider is when you're upset, it can cost you everything than a temporary moment of joy or enjoyment. One of the things that I also am very clear about is consider your energy like Nordstrom and like Walmart, right? We have Nordstrom level standards, which allow us to understand and to know that we are not going to lower our standards in order to meet the toxicity that someone comes in. Think about it. Nordstrom does not lower their store or change their store just because someone walks in with bad energy. The store remains the store and your standards remain the standards, period. Every time that you are lowering yourself and meeting that person in their energy, you start to snap back, you start to over explain, you start to create boundaries, get frustrated. When you're doing this constantly, it starts to lower your Nordstrom level energy back down into a Walmart level energy. They don't have bargains and blowout bags and things where you can get things at a cheaper, reduced price like they do at a Walmart. Walmart is intentionally a bargain store. No, nothing about, I'm not talking about whether you do a Nordstrom luxury or a Walmart bargain. It's not about the store. I'm talking about the quality of standard. Make sure that you're clear of what your quality and your standards are. And remember that you possess a Nordstrom level standard. An example of this, I remember getting triggered in my relationship. And at one point, I just felt like I needed to over explain. The more that I over explained, the more that I did, the more that I stood there in the conversation, the more I felt that I was actually going to help. I thought that I would be able to get more understanding from the person. The reality is, the longer that I was in it, the longer my energy was drained, the longer it took for me to actually get to my own point. You do not need to change who you are and where you are and how you move. And you do not need to convince anyone that you're worthy or that your comfort or that their energy is toxic and for them to understand you. If you were in a situation, and let's say it's like your sibling, and let's say your sister or brother, in the midst of you guys talking about a regular conversation, in the midst of it, they say, "You always help other people more than you help me." And yeah, and then goes back to the conversation with like, "Oh yeah, I'll just go ahead and, we can talk about go grocery shopping this weekend," and continuing as though they never said what they said. That's a passive aggressive comment. And so as opposed to getting upset and as opposed to defending, you don't need to defend. You need to understand that they are dealing with their own insecurities, their own instability, perhaps, and their own inadequacy. And it doesn't have to be something that you internalize. Instead, it can be something that you recognize and empathize without possessing you. What your response could look like, as opposed to being defensive, is, "Hey, I just noticed that you made a comment and I want to make sure I shed light to it. It seems like it's something that's very important to you. And I want you to know that I care about you. And it's important that I'm mindful of the energy that I'm giving at this time." You can say something along those lines. What I'm getting at is, it's not necessary for you to address every single point and situation, but it is important for you to address the situation that is occurring. Don't allow little shocks and things to go through and for someone to say something passive aggressively without it being addressed, especially if it's something that you know that they're just afraid to talk about or share, but they just decide to do it in a way that blends in with what they're really saying. I hope that's making sense. Here's another example. In my 20s, I had a situation where I went off via email. I love food. I'm a food lover. And one day our team, we were provided lunch. The company got us lunch and sandwiches. I put my name on this sandwich. And at the time, I thought that no one else was going to eat it. It's fine. It's only an office of like 4 or 5 people that's there. So there shouldn't be an issue in the refrigerator with what this sandwich is and whose this sandwich is. I get in the next day, the sandwich is gone. I mean, I tore up the refrigerator and I'm like, what happened? Come to find out someone ate the sandwich and I was livid. I was livid. But before you guys are like, wait, it's just a sandwich, let me give you some context. I had not received the raise that they had promised that I was going to receive months prior. I did not receive the training that they said that I was supposed to have. I was doing six-figure projects in my 20s without the proper project management level experience, dealing with high levels. It was great exposure, great experience, and I didn't have the training yet. I was being held to an expectation to have certain level of knowledge when I hadn't done those type of projects before. And so there were things that I knew I wanted and that I knew that had been told to me and was promised to be given, but it had been months since any of that happened, yet the expectations grew and I continued to become frustrated on the inside. At this time, I was very much a people pleaser. I thought that by over explaining, by staying, by continuing to show up, that meant that I was going to get the promotion or I would get a raise or I would be liked. And I was very much tied to my productivity being my worth. And at this point, like I said, I'm a food person. And so that was the straw that broke the camel's back when I did not see my sandwich. I said, I do all of these things. It's funny looking back. I do all of these things for you guys. And I'm thinking that me coming early, staying late, dealing with all of the crazy at times would give me the respect of at least keeping my sandwich. That's what I thought. That's what I thought was gonna happen. I sent an email and basically said, called out, my sandwich is gone. We need to respect each other's food. If it was you, come see me. It was something to that effect. And granted, if you see my personality, I am not the Queen Latifah set it off type. Now, but my energy is a little spicy, so it's not all the way to Dion from Clueless either, like Snap Sassy, but it's like somewhere on a spectrum. I got a spice level to me, and I ended up being sending that email, and obviously it wasn't the right way to handle it, but the challenge was and what I had learned was I had let my boundaries be pushed so much. I was caught in working and explaining and doing more in a toxic environment, and it was never meant for me to do that. So it's important that you confront. Confrontation happened in that situation. You confront it, and I'm learning, I'm sharing with you my mistake and how to do it differently. But and this was over 10 years ago. But now what I'm saying is you need to confront the situation because for 3 reasons, because there's 3 level of consequences if you do not. It takes away from your peace. That night, I was so upset. I was so upset the day before, I was so upset that night, and it took like a whole week and some change before my energy was able to level back out. It took away my peace. The second is it gives permission for other people who are being toxic to continue to do what they're doing as though it's okay. So you want to go ahead and as you're having your wellness, your secret sauce, your standard is almost a reflection. So when they try to hit you with that toxicity, it bounces off. It's not something that you then absorb and then become the toxic person yourself. So by speaking up, you actually give voice and let them know what's not okay. Even if they thought it was okay or not, it names the situation. And the third reason that you want to do it is because as they continue to move forward in life, whatever that is, they're going to think that it's okay to do it to others. So in essence, you're protecting yourself, you're giving them critical and respectful feedback, and you're helping other people not have to deal with the same level of toxicity. We're already in a world that deals with that enough. Be the person that decides to create and have a new level of standard for yourself. Also, think of toxic people like a porcupine. From far away, they have lots of spikes and you don't want to touch it, right? And they look like they're going to strike. But on the inside, they're sensitive. Like I said before, they're dealing with inadequacy, they're dealing with fear, they're dealing with insecurities, they're dealing with not feeling enough. And those things come off as projections and they're trying to, they look strong, but on the inside, they're sensitive. So don't fall a victim to their mess, to their toxicity, and don't be the one who absorbs their energy and then you become Walmart like energy. Now you become toxic. I want you to remember that you have everything that you need. You have and are equipped with God as your source. You have a level of peace, a level of abundance, and a level of joy that you can immediately tap into at any time. Raise your standards. We're not here debating back and forth with people. Let's call a thing, and let's decide that we're here to protect our energy and protect our peace. Let's face it, toxic people are not going to go away. Toxic patterns are not going to go away. You can either choose to allow it to absorb you, or you can see it for what it is. It's people struggling with their own fear, their own insecurities, and their own issues. While you can empathize, it is not your responsibility to absorb it. Remember, you have Nordstrom Luxury, or whatever luxury store you like to think of, luxury standards and energy. Don't let Walmart or bargain energy interfere with that. I hope you enjoyed this video. Leave a comment below to let me know how you liked it. I hope that it was helpful for you. And check out the channel. If there's more information that or more things that you want me to record, let me know. Check out my yoga playlist for high achievers. Check out the emotional resilience and burnout playlist. And also check out the sacred leadership, self leadership playlist as well. I hope this has been helpful. Until next time, bye.